Everything under your sink is wet. The sprays, the soaps, the foams, all of it is more liquid poured onto a mess that already has liquid in it. But grease and damp come up best dry, and the one thing made for that isn't under there at all. It's the box of cornstarch up in the cupboard. Now, the dry shampoos I've seen run $8, $9 a can, and the talc-free body powder beside them is mostly this same cornstarch with perfume added. I paid about $2 for the whole box, and mine still isn't empty. Today, I've got 19 uses for it, and the one I reach for most is sitting at number 1. So let's get started. Number 19. Go get the cookbook you actually use and look at what's splattered across it. Butter, bacon fat, a thumbprint of oil from 30 different suppers. The cookbooks I've priced lately run $20, $30, and a new one wouldn't have a word of your own writing in it. Lay the page flat, sprinkle a little cornstarch over the greasy spot, set a clean sheet of paper and something heavy on top, and leave it overnight. In the morning, brush the powder off with a soft, dry brush. Go easy on an old photograph though, and don't try this at all on something you couldn't replace. Paper soaks oil up the way a napkin does, so it works down into the fibers and darkens them, and dry starch pulls it back out while it sits. That page looks clean again, and the recipes in your grandmother's hand stay out on the counter instead of shut away in a box. Number 18. You know the spot in the hall floor that groans under your foot when somebody's asleep? That sound is two boards working against each other, and what they want is something dry in between. Sprinkle a spoonful along the seam where they meet, work it in with a stiff card, and walk it in. The boards slide instead of catching, and the floor goes quiet. It isn't a permanent repair, mind you. It works its way out over the months, so you do it again when the groan comes back. And keep this to a dry hallway or a bedroom floor, not the kitchen, because this is food after all, and I wouldn't work it down into boards where the crumbs and the ants already come. Sweep the surface clean when you're done. There's a kit for this at the hardware store, $25, and it has you drilling holes through a good floor. I'd rather do it over now and then and keep the money. Number 17. Some things can never go in the washing machine, and they're usually the things that need it most. The stuffed rabbit that goes everywhere with a child, a wool sweater, the lampshade gone gray on the side that faces the room. Here's how our grandmothers cleaned them. Put the rabbit in a pillowcase with a few spoonfuls of cornstarch, shake it hard, and let it sit 10 minutes. Then brush it out on the porch, not over your table. Sprinkle the sweater and the shade the same way. Whatever oil and grime those fibers are holding comes out with it when you brush. The dry cleaner wants $8, $10 to do one wool sweater, and they won't take the rabbit at all. Number 16. Most of the chains in your jewelry box have been lying there a year or better, knotted into a hard little ball you gave up on. That's jewelry you own and never wear. So put a pinch of cornstarch on the knot, rub it in with your fingers, and work at it with a pin. The powder slips down between the strands so they slide free of each other instead of gripping. Same for a hood drawstring, a shoelace, or the cords behind the television. 10 minutes and a pinch of powder puts one of them back around your neck tonight. One thing before we go on, and then I won't bring it up again. There's more of this than ever fits in one video, so I put it all into a book over at thehannahbrooks.com. If you want it, it's there. That's all. Number 15. Now to the dining room table, or the top of the dresser, or the arm of a good chair. I've got 4 kids in this house, so my table shows every hand that's been on it. Look at it sideways in the light, and you'll see the haze, every fingerprint in a dull film. That film is the polish itself, oil and wax with dust settled in, and every fresh coat builds it thicker. So dust a little cornstarch over the top, work it over the wood with a soft cloth following the grain, then take up the rest with a clean one. It lifts the film and the prints together, and the wood comes back to its own shine. Those polish sprays run $5, $6 a can, and all they do is lay down another coat of what you just took off. Number 14. Open the junk drawer and take out the flashlight with the rubber grip, the one gone tacky that grabs at everything. Nothing washes that off, because soft rubber breaks down over the years and turns sticky all on its own. Old remotes do it, camera straps do it, and most folks throw the thing out over it. So wipe it with a little rubbing alcohol, let it dry, then dust it with cornstarch and rub it in dry. It won't make the thing new again, but it isn't sticky anymore, and it sits dry in your hand. That's $20 you don't spend replacing a flashlight that was never broken, just sticky. Number 13. You're halfway through a bowl of frosting on a Saturday, and the powdered sugar is gone. Don't get in the car. Put 1 cup of white sugar in the blender with 1 tablespoon of cornstarch. Run it a full minute, and let the dust settle before you lift the lid. What comes out is powdered sugar, and the cornstarch keeps it soft instead of packing back into a lump. That's the very same thing the store sells you, because their carton has cornstarch in it too. Confectioner's sugar runs a couple of dollars a carton, and you didn't have to go buy one. Number 12. The dog hasn't had a bath in a while, and you can tell from the doorway. Out on the porch, work a little cornstarch into the dry coat with your fingers, let it sit, then brush every bit back out. It carries off the oil in the coat, and that oil is where most of the smell sits, so he comes out a good deal sweeter. Where the fur mats behind the ears, rub some into the tangle and the comb slides right through. It has to go on a dry coat, so it's no good on a wet dog. Keep it out of his eyes and his nose, and use it between baths, not instead of them. The waterless kind I've seen at the pet store runs $10, $12, and a spoonful out of the baking cupboard does the same job, so the dog can sit beside you by bedtime. Number 11. It's one of those days when nobody can go outside and the little ones are climbing the walls. Maybe they're yours, maybe they're your grandkids in for the weekend, and either way they need something to do with their hands. 2 cups of cornstarch and 1 cup of hair conditioner, kneaded together in a bowl, and you've made modeling clay. Nothing on the stove, nothing to buy. Add a few drops of food coloring if you want it bright. It isn't food though, so it's not for the one still putting everything in his mouth. Mine will spend a whole afternoon on it and never once ask for the television. The name brand dough is $8 or $10 for a pack of those little cans, and every one of them comes back to you dried into a rock. You just mix up another batch for pennies. Number 10. Anybody with suede boots or a bag knows the feeling of finding a dark, greasy mark and being afraid to touch it. And you should be, because water and the leather creams folks reach for will both mat that soft nap down for good. So no rubbing and nothing wet. Set a little mound of cornstarch right over the mark, thick enough you can't see the leather through it, and leave it there until morning. Then brush it out with a soft brush, going the way the nap lies. You may have to do it twice, and an old mark may only lighten, but it brings most of them back. I have never bought one of those suede cleaning kits, and the shoe counter wants $10 or $12 for one. So that's 10 down, and the half that's left is where the money is. Nearly every one of them replaces something you're buying right now, and I'd hate for you to miss number 1. Stay with me. Number 9. A child gets a nosebleed in the night, and by morning it isn't the pillowcase that worries you, it's the mattress under it, and that runs into the hundreds to replace. Peroxide is what most of us grab for blood, and it works, but you can't pour a bottle into a mattress, and on a dyed sheet, it can lift the color along with the stain. A cold paste is safe on both, and it never soaks the mattress. Cold water on the spot first, and never warm, because warm water turns blood into a stain you'll never get back out. Stir cornstarch and cold water into a thick paste, spread it over, and let it dry all the way, out in the sun if you can. Then brush it off, and go again if a shadow is left. As it dries, the paste draws the blood up out of the fibers, so it flakes away with it, and the mattress stays in the house. Number 8. Take down the pieces that can't go in a pan of hot water. The weighted candlesticks, a knife with a glued handle, anything with a stone in it. Stir cornstarch and a little water into a paste about like toothpaste. Wipe it on with a damp cloth and let it dry. Then buff it off with a soft dry cloth, and a soft toothbrush gets the corners. Dried starch is mild, so it can lift the tarnish and bring the shine back without leaving a mark on the silver. Go light on anything plated, because that layer is thinner than you'd think. This is the other half of the foil and baking soda bath I showed you, for what you can't drop in a pan. Do the two together the week before company comes, and you'll never open a jar of polish again. Number 7. Last thing tonight. Take the shoes you had on all day and give each one a spoonful of cornstarch. Shake it around until it coats the inside, then tip it out in the morning. Overnight, it draws out the sweat that shoe has held all day, and the bacteria that make the smell can't get started without it. The alcohol mist I gave you for this goes in wet, and a shoe that starts the night damp is no better off by morning. This one goes in dry and stays dry. The cedar inserts sold for this run $15 a pair. I've been doing mine every few nights since June, and the box has hardly gone down. Number 6. My grandmother ironed on Saturday night for Sunday, and the collars on those shirts stood up on their own. That was starch, and you don't need the can for it. Stir 1 tablespoon of cornstarch into a pint of cold water, pour it in a spray bottle, and shake it each time, because it settles fast. Mist the collar lightly, and iron it as usual. Laid on heavy, it flakes white and can scorch under a hot iron, so keep it light. And only mix up a little at a time, because this is food, and it sours in a week. The starch dries into the cloth and stiffens the weave, so the shirt holds its shape past lunch. She never bought a can of spray starch in her life, and the can on the shelf now is $3–4 for what a spoonful of this does. Number 5. A plate of buttered popcorn goes over on the arm of the couch, or it's the oily patch on the recliner where somebody's head goes every evening. I've told you before to put baking soda on that carpet, and that one is for the smell. Soda takes the odor, cornstarch takes the grease. Pick up the popcorn first. Pour a good layer over the spot and let it work while you get supper on, or all night for an old one, then vacuum it up slow. If there's still a dark place there, put a drop of dish soap in warm water and blot at it. Blot, never rub, or you drive it into the backing. The carpet spot cleaners run $6–7 a bottle, and on grease they mostly wet it down and spread it around. Number 4. You walk right past the round steak and the chuck at the meat case because the last one you cooked came out gray and chewy, so you pay up for the tender cut instead. Restaurants have cooked those cheap cuts tender for 100 years, and this is how. Slice the meat thin across the grain, toss it in a bowl with 2 teaspoons of cornstarch to the pound and a splash of water or soy sauce, and stir it up. Let it sit 20 minutes, then cook it hot and fast. That thin coat holds the juice in instead of letting it run out in the pan, so a cheap cut comes out tender. You save $3–4 a pound buying the one nobody wants, and a spoonful of cornstarch is the only difference on the plate. Number 3. Come the hottest stretch of the summer, skin rubs against skin all day long. Under the arms, under the bust, along the inside of the thighs. Now powder and petroleum jelly do opposite jobs. The jelly slides in between your skin and whatever rubs on it, and that's the right answer for a sandal strap. But this is sweat and heat, and the last thing you want is to seal that in. So dust a little cornstarch on before you dress, and skin that stays dry doesn't rub itself raw. I used to pay $6–8 for the talc-free powder at the drugstore, and I stopped a long while back. Now keep it to skin that isn't broken or cracked. Stay off a rash that's raw or weeping, and off a fold that's already red and stays damp, because a starch can feed that kind of rash instead of settling it. And it's grown folks only, since the doctors have moved away from powders around babies. Number 2. The pan spits at you while you're standing there in a good blouse, or somebody eats a slice of pizza in the car and wears half of it. Now, you've heard me say a drop of Dawn takes grease out of a shirt. This is the step before it. Dry powder lifts the loose oil off before it works down into the weave. The soap goes after the oil that already worked its way in, so don't run it under the tap because water spreads an oil stain and sets you back. Blot up what you can, then pile the cornstarch on until the spot disappears under it. Half an hour does a fresh one, and an old stain can sit all night. Then brush it away, put on the drop of dish soap, and wash it warm. And keep that shirt out of the dryer until the spot is truly gone, because the heat sets it for keeps. That's a good blouse still hanging in the closet, and what saved it cost a few pennies. Now, before number 1. Most of what ends up on these lists comes from somebody down in the comments handing me a trick I'd never heard of, and I've got a stack of them here I haven't gotten to yet. So go ahead and click that subscribe button and turn on the notifications too. Number 1. This is the one that empties my box faster than all the rest put together. It's a morning when there's no time to wash your hair, or it's the second day and you know it. Put a little cornstarch in a small dish, and if your hair is dark, stir in a spoonful of cocoa powder so it doesn't sit gray on you. Dip a soft, dry makeup brush, tap the extra off, and dust it at the roots, parting your hair in rows. Give it 2 or 3 minutes, then brush it out well, and I mean well, until there's not a trace left. Now go look at what a can of dry shampoo costs. $8–9, and I bought them for years before I knew what was in them. The thing doing the work inside that can is a starch, the same as what's in your cupboard. The difference is the can leaves a film of its own behind, and this rinses away with plain water. By the second day, your scalp has put out enough oil to run down the hair and weigh it flat. The starch takes it up at the roots, so the brush can carry them both out. One box covered every single thing on this list. There's nothing clever about that. It's just the habit of looking in the cupboard before you look in the store, and our grandmothers had it because they had to. 19 jobs. And the box that did every one of them cost me $2. So tell me which one you're gonna try first down in the comments. YouTube's picked out another money saver it thinks you'll like, and it's sitting right up there. Watch that one next, and I'll see you over there.